Los Angeles wildfires in the U.S. call for resources from Canada. Welcome to your summary of the most relevant national and international news of the day, here on ICI Noticias Canada. With your presenter Angelica Cifuentes. Canadian company Jeriki, which specializes in the production of plant-based beverages, has permanently closed its four processing plants. This decision affects two facilities in Ontario, one in British Columbia, and one in Pennsylvania, USA, owned by a subsidiary. As a result, most employees have been laid off. The closure follows a deadly listeria outbreak linked to its non-dairy milk products. The outbreak resulted in at least 2 deaths and several sickened people in Canada. The wildfires in Los Angeles have reached alarming levels, with at least 5 fatalities, and the evacuation of more than 150,000 people. In response to this emergency, Canada has offered significant assistance. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau shared a video on social media showing a Canadian aircraft helping with firefighting efforts in Los Angeles, accompanied by the message, "Neighbors helping neighbors." This gesture underlines the solidarity and cooperation between the two countries in times of crisis. In 2025, food prices in Canada and the United States are projected to continue to rise, albeit at a more moderate pace than in previous years. In Canada, food prices are expected to rise by 3 to 5%. Impact on households. Canadian families are estimated to spend approximately $800 additional CAD on food over the year. Food prices are expected to rise by an average of 1.9%, with differences between those consumed at home and those consumed outside the home. Products most affected in the United States: foods such as eggs, dairy products, tropical fruits, and oils could experience more significant increases. Following Justin Trudeau's recent resignation as leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister of Canada, the search for his successor has begun. Although a specific poll indicating who Canadians prefer as the next Liberal leader has not yet been released, several names have emerged as possible candidates to take over the leadership of the party. Possible candidates: Chrystia Freeland, former Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister. Freeland has been a leading figure in Trudeau's government. Her resignation in mid-December 2024, following disagreements with Trudeau, positions her as a potential successor. Mark Carney, a former governor of the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, Carney has been mentioned as a possible contender to lead the Liberal Party. His experience in the economic field could be seen as an advantage in times of financial challenges. Loblaw apologizes after meat was sold underweight in Western Canadian stores. Loblaw Companies Limited, one of Canada's leading supermarket chains, has issued a public apology after it was discovered that certain meat products sold in its Western Canadian stores were underweight. Affected products, primarily cuts of beef and pork packaged and labeled in stores under the Loblaw's, Real Canadian Superstore, and No Frills brands. Impacted region, stores located in the provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. 80,000 people in Ontario became homeless last year, a new report from the province's municipalities shows, in what is the clearest picture of the problem to date. There are now 25% more people living in shelters or on the streets compared with 2 years ago, the report said. The association, which represents 444 Ontario municipalities, said a fundamentally different approach is needed to address the crisis. Your opinion matters. Subscribe and follow us on our YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook platforms as ICI News Canada. To always be informed with the most important news and in-depth analysis. Thank you for choosing us as your trusted source of information.